Warmachine board, battle report. Khador versus Cryx.
So, we have another battle report for you guys. This time it's Ali manning the armies of Cryx, Mortenebra list that you've already seen on previous battle reports, and on the other side it's Sorscha leading the Khador armies, being Leon on my side. So here it's going to be a picture battle report. It was a bit easier to do this than do the video. And here you see the deployment of both sides. Ali, on your part, you rolled higher than me, so you chose to go first.
Yes, correct. So I was, mentioned before, playing my same list. So it's going to be Mortenebra, 5 heavy jacks, 2 stalkers, and a bunch of scrap thralls, and Helldiver. And basically, I was planning on just running everyone up. So as you can see, they get advanced deploy because I'm in tier. So does Deadjack. So they're up about 6. Since I'm also in tier, I also get a bonus of getting 2 inches extra. So my regular army is not on 7, it's on 9 inches. And the plan was to run them up and see if I could get some charges in.
Okay. On my part, like I said, Sorscha, same list as what I usually play with her. The only difference now is that it's actually my first game with her final 50-point list I had in mind. In this case, the addition was the Nis Hunters with Valachev and also Masterhold and Ayana. Deployment on my part was mostly Doom Reavers and Iris on the one side on the left flank, because that's where most of your heavy hitters are. And the Nis on the right side behind the force, because they have a couple of special rules that give me extra bonuses when being in force and also not being hindered by their line of sight blocking effect. So like we said, you had first turn, so for me it was actually one of the first times I did not have first turn. So it kind of put me on my back foot. I had to make some decisions slightly different. And then if we go forward, we're at the end of the Cryx turn 1.
Yep. So, like I said, all the scrappies run up. On the right side, you see a stalker on the extreme right, and next to the other hill, you see the other stalker. So they were trying to play a flank. The heavy jacks also move up, and you don't see Deadjack anymore, except if you look at the big house on the left, you see a little creepy black paw, which is Deadjack, hoping to, I don't know, my thoughts behind that was that I'd hide him and the Doom Reavers would come forward. He had Ghostly on him, maybe he'd run through the house and do something funny. But anyway, he parks to the side, and
that was a very unpredictable plan.
And so basically that's it. I just ran up and hoping that you don't notice and don't shoot at anyone. Didn't work out so well, I guess.
Excellent. Okay, then going into the Khador turn 1. Not so much difficult decision making on my part. The only thing I really had to do in this turn is get rid of the scrap thralls. I didn't have anything else to shoot, everything was out of range, so I just used my Widowmakers, Nis Hunters and Iris to take out all of the scrap thralls. So that's one headache less. Nothing else is in range, so I just push up my battle line. Main mistake I think I made here, actually two main mistakes I made. One Ali can cover in the next Cryx turn, but the one bigger mistake I made here was I was too aggressive with the Winter Guard. I ran them up instead of just bob and weaving, and it's actually cost me almost half of my unit next turn because I was so easily hit by the jacks on their what was your spell again where you hit 3d6?
Terminal velocity.
Yeah, exactly. So it's already quite easy for you to hit defense 17 Winter Guard to begin with, but now because I was overly aggressive and not having Bob and Weave, it made it very easy to just take out half of the unit. So then, yeah?
Yeah, so I thought you were going to go to the next picture where this actually does happen. Yep. So, like Leon mentioned, I then had a chance to basically pick off some of the Winter Guard. I think there were 9 that were killed overall. And the Deathjack is outside of the house. He's no longer hiding. He's kind of run towards the other direction because I thought that we had a good opportunity to do something interesting. Now, if you notice towards the center of the picture, in all the purple, there's one reversely parked harrower who reversed into that gap over there. So what happened here was the harrower also charged, killed a Winter Guard. I had put overrun on him, so this triggered that. And much to my surprise, Sorscha was doing a little peekaboo between 2 other models. So I could basically walk the harrower up, who had reach. He then took 2 swipes at her, I think, or maybe 1 actually hitting. So she was down 4 or 5 hit points, Leon, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I managed to damage her. I thought I'd take the risk of just throwing the harrower in and seeing if you could actually end up killing her. That's why Deathjack had to abandon the ambush the Doom Reavers plan and try to back up his friend in assassination, because usually I wouldn't go so early, but when I do see this kind of chance, I just kind of throw in a Jack and hope he can do a little more damage than he did. But also I was my thinking in this turn was also, look, if you fear the Winter Guard as they should be, you need to give them the respect of throwing 5 heavy jacks at them.
Yeah, you're definitely dedicated.
And I think at this point I was feeling like I did the right thing. I was kind of bummed out that the harrower didn't do more damage to her, because in subsequent turns, I can pick off a few more points off your caster, but she's really difficult to really pin down because of obviously Cyclone, and Windrush, I think. But her multiple movements.
Prime Sorscha.
Okay. So anyway, so she can move extra, so it's a little difficult to capture her. So I was a little surprised that I couldn't really do anything more. But I was also glad that I took the initiative as opposed to just waiting for the Winter Guard to come pop feet and kill me, which leads to your turn.
And then the hero just started wading through the infantry to begin with. It wasn't even really planning on going after Sorscha, right? He just killed a whole bunch of Winter Guard, triggered overrun, and figured, hey, either I kill more Winter Guard, or actually I can use this little hole that Leon left there and try to kill Sorscha.
Yeah.
So I should really learn to not leave those little spaces between models. It's a 40k.
That is important.
Legacy problem in my brain.
Yeah, I'm glad you did though. And I was already playing with the mindset of having a scavenger extra instead of 2 stalkers. So I was already thinking that as long as I can damage his caster or any model who's important to me, then I expect the scavenger to kind of roll 4 die and go after them. So it was a bit of me playing for the future list that I'm going to play in the next game, hopefully. But yeah, your turn.
Yeah, and also in your defense, when for hiding Deathjack behind the house, I didn't move my Doom Reavers up, so at least it has some effect on stalling 1 turn of movement for me. So
correct.
At least it accomplished something. End of my second turn. So I was pretty scared at this point, having so many jacks right in my face, just almost being assassinated and not having seen that coming. So I'm thinking, I'm in a really bad spot. So I think it's a good turn to pop my feet. It would cover, I think, a Slayer, the Reaper, 2 Stalkers, and a Harrower. So the bigger portion of your army. And then I basically just start at least trying to do as much damage as possible and hopefully relieve some of that pressure. So first of all, the Beast takes out the Harrower pretty handily. Again, just over-allocated focus. Then Master Halt, who I've never played with before, starts shooting at the Reaper and does a tremendous amount of damage. That was
Insane.
that was pretty horrible. two
It's
shots
nasty.
at power P plus S14 and then plus feed. That was painful. So the Reaper is gone. Between him and a couple of other people also shooting. Take out both Stalkers, one with my central line as well as the Nis on the right flank. And so 4 Jacks are dead. So going from a position where I'm not very comfortable with to being in a pretty happy place. And then on the left flank, I try to put some pressure on the left flank, maybe draw some Jacks away from the center by moving up my Doom Reavers quite aggressively, and also starting to put some pressure on your caster by potentially putting them in threat range of the caster.
Absolutely. This was, your feet is super nasty. But that's something I know too well now. So in my subsequent turn, since I was being charged by the Doom Reavers, who again I respect very much, so I devote attention to them. So the little Slayer, the bottom Slayer on the left, the black one, managed to be crippled with one left arm, I think, but he still managed to kill 3 Doom Reavers, so he's a hero and he's a legend in Slayer.
Oh man, and he was even disrupted because I shot him with Iris. It's just
it was insane.
Like, terminal velocity doesn't care about crippling systems and disruption.
Not
taking
really,
out 3 Doom Reavers,
really.
that was very sad.
Absolutely. Then the silver one got to charge the old man who's playing the flute behind the Doom Reaver, so he's also gone. And that Jack had to trample over 2 of them to kill them and eat their souls and just feel like a man again, and goes hide behind the house. I unborrowed the cowardly Helldiver, and he ran back to mommy, so towards my forest. That's about it, because on the right flank, then I figured, listen, I've already hurt her a little bit. Let's see what the witches can do. So the witches went up the hill and sprayed venom onto his caster, which also managed to put down 3 hit points or something.
Yeah, that was down more than 50% of my health.
Yeah, that was funny as well.
Yeah.
But at this point, we both were, I think, under the wrong impression on how to play this particular scenario, because we were thinking that we had to get these fags contested, the one on the left and right. So I thought that I'd put the witches there and put a Slayer there, and then we still have a few turns to go. But then is your next turn, which was also under the same assumption, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very happy scoring my point on the right side, on the right flag. So we're still playing it like this. This is what I assume to be true. This turn I thought I could win just by scoring the flag on the right, scoring the flag on the left. Even though I didn't really realize that your Jack was actually contesting that flag. And I think I thought I could just park Sorscha in the zone and score 2 points. And right before I started the move, I realized that there's actually still an objective in the zone, which I have to take out, which isn't that easy considering the armor value and the boxes. And my entire army shoots at the objective, and it's left on, I think, 2 boxes or something. So I'm extremely frustrated that that didn't work. And eventually, I move up Sorscha, just barely managing to tow into the zone. And for the first time ever, I use this spell called Razor Wind, just the magic pew pew pew. Boosted and managed to take out the objective with the last possible option I had available to me. So
it was one of those games, right?
Yeah.
Where you just barely managed to kill the objective, and also on the next turn, right?
Yeah.
With the model.
Yeah, but at least here I scored 2 points. That's at least something. So in my head, I was now sitting at, I believe, 4 points. 2 times the flag on the right, because Reinhold was camping there, and then the center zone. Also on the left side, you'll see that my Doom Reaver sprinted up and engaged Mortenebra. I just figured, lucky shot, maybe I can chop her head off.
The one guy left. Yeah.
And I think you underestimated this guy's threat range a little bit, because you seemed a bit surprised that I just ran past your little bodyguard there and took a shot.
Yeah, I think I was just frustrated that I didn't block that charge lane so too well, and he just had to move a little more so that he could be the sacrificial guy. But I think no damage done there. So
No, I just
then,
missed.
yeah, th- then I think the next turn I respond by killing your Iris. What's her name?
Yeah.
Iris, right? With the Helldiver, Mortenebra kills the Doomreaver who was attacking her, and then my Slayers basically charge towards the zone. The one on top runs inside the zone. That Jack also charges another Winter Guard, also in the zone, and I was actually a little happy that obviously Sorscha standing, what is it, 8 inches away from me. And
That's normally a
and-
really, really bad place to be.
yeah, so, and I've got 3 heavies staring at her, and I could do anything next turn to kill her, right? Basically.
No.
But
Yeah.
this was a bad calculation on my part. I should have had that check also just stow the zone behind that other Slayer. Same scenario. Maybe he just have another Winter Guard looking at him in fear, but that was kind of silly on my part in hindsight. But hey.
Yeah, and then I think at the start of your turn, I figured out that we played the flags wrong. I just happened to stumble across it while sort of looking for different rules in the Steamroller pack and noticed this. So you can only dominate the flag, and the units don't really play a part when it comes to scoring points on flags.
Casters need to do that, yeah.
Yeah, so that basically made all my decisioning throughout the whole game useless. So Reinhold was standing there for nothing. The Nis had no reason to be that far up the flank. I had 3 jacks in my face, so I thought, fuck, maybe I just gave away the game, depending on what happened. But I also realized that we didn't count the 1 point I got for the objective. So eventually it was basically minus 2 points from the flags and plus 1 for the objective, which still put me at 3 points. So considering what you just said of how you moved your previous turn, the only thing I essentially had to do this turn was take the Slayer out of the zone and score 2 points because of dominating that zone. So that's also what I then continue to do. I just give Beast 4 focus, I charge your Slayer with Boundless Charge and take him out, and then I just end my turn and win on scenario.
Yeah, you say you just gave him 4 focus, but if you remember, you missed 2 of them. 2 of the
Oh my god,
hits
yes.
you got, and you killed him exactly when he had 7 hit points left. You had your last dice roll, and you scored exactly 7. And
That
it was
was
one of
horrible.
those brilliant games.
Oh my god, the first 2 initials hit, you were left with 7 hitboxes, and I had like 4 focus to still spend on additional attacks. I take my first focus, I miss. The second, I missed. The third, I miss. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose this game because Beast cannot hit the Slayer. And I spend my 4th focus, and finally I hit, and even then, I only do exactly 7 damage. Exactly what he had left. That was nerve-wracking.
But it was super fun. And again, hopefully next turn I'm gonna be playing at least 4 Necrotechs in my list, and hopefully I'll be able to annoy you a little more with repaired jacks. But yeah, this was perfect. I mean, you ran up, you knocked his teeth out, and that jack is not very useful. Standing
next to him, just looking at how he loses the game.
So we lose. Yeah, go back to your forest.
Looking back at the game, did you have any big plans or any considerations once you lost the 4 jacks and feet turn? Did you have any plans to really get back into the game?
Well, the plan was going to be essentially regroup like I was, and have to reapproach your remaining army, because I was thinking that she's always going to be far away. If I can somehow manage to kill some more troops and force in a situation where you have to bring Sorscha closer, maybe I can make this last longer. But not really. I mean, in hindsight, from this game, I've also realized how the momentum can swing, especially when you have first turn, which I did. So how I deployed my scrap trolls was completely wrong. I should have kept them all 2-3 inches back and then forced a different movement from you your turn instead of just pew 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 shooting them. They were basically wasted. And then secondly, if I'm playing a 12 to 11 point death jack, he can't be hiding behind houses.
No.
He needs to do a little more. Maybe if he engages the Doom Reavers, you try to kill him, he dies. But I need to try to stay. And then on the third consideration for me would be to stay far away as possible during your feat turn, especially with my assassination pieces. So if you kill my Slayers, I'm not going to be too upset, but if you kill a Harrower and a Reaper and the 2 Stalkers, those are the guys who I kind of rely on to pick your caster's bones apart. So I'm going to be super careful about not having them in your command range by turn 2, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall it was a super fun game. I thought we're getting better and better as we play these lists. And I hope I win next time.
Very nice. Okay, thanks. That was it for today. Catch you later.
Fantastic. Bye-bye.